waiting for the department.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Zia Afroz, Assistant Professor, Depart- Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Assistant Professor, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Welcome you all on behalf of the Department Humanities and Social Sciences, Integral University. As we all know that today we have a lecture on New Vistas of Economics by our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Jainendra Kumar Verma, who is working presently as an associate professor at Sharda School of Business Studies, Sharda University. He has the mastery over 4 different languages. He has an experience teaching of post PhD 9 years and 7 months, and he has published 32 research papers, including six Scopus indexed and 10 books. He has supervised 2 PhDs, MPhils, number of master's thesis, dissertation projects, and he has received the funding of approximately 52.3 lakhs rupees from various reputed funding agencies like ICSSR, CUPB, for capacity building program and number of the things. And he has qualified a number of JRFs and NET in different and various subjects like management, economics, commerce, education, social work, tourism, public administration, women studies, and many more. So, sir, I welcome you all once again. And now, all over to you, sir. We have Jainendra Kumar Verma, sir. Sir, now audience is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Jia, for inviting me. I'm thankful for organizers for giving me opportunity to speak before you all. So basically, in this presentation, I'm going to take up some dimensions of economics. Dimensions are not actually new. The only thing is that we have, perspectives, change perspectives with respect of time. Because economics is a vast subject and it covers many aspects of society and how do we interact in society. So some of these dimensions I'm going to discuss in today's presentation. These are sustainability, technological advancement, energy management, digitalization, population optimization, fiscal reforms, feasible manpower planning, ensured cost of living, accessible and affordable healthcare, value education, transportation management, innovation and entrepreneurship, optimum industrialization, prudent use of natural resources, international relations. So these are 15 dimensions we are going to cover in this presentation. We all are familiar with these dimensions. Only thing is that time is changing. We are shifting in a new era where we have to use economics in a different manner so that we can benefit from this discipline and also we can be beneficial to the society. So first of all, sustainability. See, many things we have heard about sustainability. We usually talk about sustainability. Sustainability is not simply preserving resources for future generation. In fact, it is optimization of resources as well as what to say uh, providing platform for all the stakeholders that resources are used wisely, preserved, and these resources are not misused. So many times we discuss about development also that development, we are going for economic development, we are constructing roads, we are constructing buildings, we are constructing what to say, so many things. But whether we are really preserving our environment or not. So this is the concern. So this is what we have to understand, that we cannot compromise with our planet. Planet should be our priority. So whatever we do as economic activity, we should not uh, we should not make any adverse impact on our planet. We should preserve environment. We should preserve resources. So this is what we require. Now, second thing, if you talk about technology, technology is very important. And see, just think about the situation that when we used to have typewriters, or even before that we used to have carbon paper. So by that time, if we need something multiple copies, that was very difficult. And carbon paper, that helped us to get one or two or three some more copies simultaneously. And after that we came for this typewriter. Now we are having computer, we can have multiple copies by single typing, and we give command and we have multiple copies, 100, 200, any number of copies we can get. Most of the things are automated, production is automated. So technology actually play a vital role. How how can we advance our technology? A lot of expenditure is being made in developed countries, that they are making like this computer softwares. They are spending a lot of money for advancing their technology. So it is not only computer and IT. Different manufacturing sectors also, they are coming up with good machines that can be used for more automated production, and also with lot of quality control. Nowadays quality is also concerned. Most of the products are standardized. Many parts are there in machines. So if these are not standardized, these not meeting standards, quality conformity, then these cannot be sold, these cannot be marketed. Suppose, for example, we are having pen drive, and if it is loose, we are inserting in computer, and it is loose, and it is not properly inserted. So what is the use of this pen drive? So standardized, we are having a standard product, because standard product with standard specifications. And it is not about only product that which we have to optimize or advance in terms of technology. It is process also, because process makes things more economical. When we are optimizing technology in process, then we can reduce cost of production, we can reduce chances of quality issue. So technology is very important, and expenditure, R&D work expenditure should be there. I mean, even developing countries should invest a lot of money in R&D work, so that they can come up with advanced technology. And if they are not in the position to what to say invest money in R&D works for technological advancement, they should try to get this technology from developed countries which are already good in advancing technology or doing R&D work. So this is very important. Technology actually can change. Nowadays, we are going for this artificial intelligence. A lot of things are being done. We are using computer. We are using mobile. See exactly whatever we want to search. And suppose we are searching one flight for one place to another, and we stop it. Next time, whenever we open our computer or mobile, so artificial intelligence tell them that this person is trying to search flight for this place to this, and they are showing advertisement. What is that exactly? This is being done by through artificial intelligence. So these things are also coming in manufacturing also. I mean, if automation is there, because cost of labor is very high, and as compared to these other factors of production. So if we can minimize use of labor in production, we can cut down our cost of production. Why production is very costly in developed countries? Because cost of living is very high over there, and that's why cost of production is very high. Whereas machines are not. If automation is there, we are using machines. So cost of machines or their maintenance, their operations is not that high. What we are having cost of living for labor. So if we minimize use of labor in our production, we can cut down the cost. And since we are having this market which is highly competitive, So we can't decide prices of goods in many cases. The only thing is that we can't increase price, but we can cut down cost of production. That will result in our profitability, high profitability. So that way we can increase profitability. So technology can play a vital role in uh, improving quality of product, reducing cost of production, and increasing profitability. Now, third dimension is energy. See, energy is something very important. Earlier, we used to have what to say limited sources of energy like petroleum. Now we are having green energy, many other sources like solar energy, now bioenergy is also there. Even we are going for nuclear energy. So a lot of research is going on for using nuclear energy because nuclear energy is very cost economical. But thing is that it is the so far we have not advanced technology to that level that we can use it commercially. So if this nuclear energy is being used commercially, that will be a very economical energy source, and we can get energy up to that level that there will not be any scarcity. Even dense populated countries, developing countries also will be in the position to cater their need of energy. So some research and development is required in using alternative sources of energy. Solar energy, or we are using, and nowadays people are preferring solar energy. You can see in transportation also nowadays in developing countries like India, they're using electric vehicle. So actually, if we use right energy, that will help in our eco balance and sustainability. Will add in sustainability also. So other than that, this industrial production, a lot of dependency on hydraulic energy on manufacturing sector. So hydraulic energy has its own limitations. We can't generate, to great extent. So if we go for alternate sources, and we do some research that how can we utilize, because every source cannot be feasible. Earlier, we did some research and we found that bioenergy is not that good for soil fertility. So initially, people started to have this bioenergy source for their production, and nowadays they are showing less interest for that. But solar energy, its feasible problem is that waste management issues there. After 5 year or 10 year, we have to scrap the panels, and the panel disposal is also a very serious issue. So how to go for that? So some research is going on for that also. And other than that, nuclear energy, we all know that if it is commercialized it that way that it cater need to commercial production and household it use also, then it will be a miracle. Then digitalization. See, digitalization is not simply using digital devices in our day-to-day life. It is to manage data, database management, and using data for our economic well-being. So it has very wider connotation. For example, if we are using digital devices in production, we are using digital technology, or we are using digital apps in our life or in commercial establishment. So the thing is that digitalization gives one advantage. There is certainty. We we get all the data and transactions recorded. For example, if we are paying in cash in the market, we may forget that how whether we paid or not. Even government cannot trace that there is a transaction. So how can they ask for taxation? But if we are paying through our digital what to say mode, like we are paying through RTGS, NEFT, or we are paying through this UPI apps, so economic transaction is being recorded. So it will help in every, it will contribute in every database that this transaction is taking place, whether it is for taxation, whether it is for understanding economic transactions, for taxation, income, expenditure, everything is recorded. So especially after this, what to say, pandemic, COVID pandemic, we are more concerned about digitalization because especially in market also people are using this digitalization, and it it gives a sense of accountability that yes, we are using we are using digital uh, modes for our economic transaction, then we have to comply with law, whether it is for financial transaction or anything. And it gives recording of data we can refer in future also. Earlier what happened, we do transaction, and then after that we track whether that transaction is there or not, and then we manage the data. But if we use digital board, data is already backed in the back end. So this is one good thing we can have in through digitalization. Then we're coming for a next, population optimization. See, this is very important, especially for sometimes we think that the population is the problem only in developing nations, but it is not the case. Population optimization is even in developed countries also. The only difference is that we are having excessive population, they are having less population. They are giving incentive for increasing population, producing more babies. They are giving incentive, and we are uh, like in India, we are giving incentive if we go for single child, single girl child. So some incentive is there, some benefits are there. And there is just opposite. See, the case of Germany. What happens? They are providing what to say, incentives. They are providing free education, so many facilities if people are reproducing babies. So population optimization means whatever resources in terms of land, in terms of forest area, in terms of agricultural land we are having in a country, our population should be according to that. So it is not total population, but population density. Population density should be that is such that it is manageable, neither less nor more. So optimization of population, because if it is less, then there will be problem and crisis of what to say working hands in the economy. And if it is more, then hands will be without job, and these will be burden to the economy. So population should be optimized. And for example, in India, if we see a lot of so many states, they are having high population like UP and Bihar. So what happens? There is a problem of per capita resources, problem of education, health. Basic amenities are compromised if population is high. But if we think about Punjab, highly highly managed state in terms of population. Population is neither less nor more. So healthcare, agriculture, income, every dimension they are having better condition as compared to other highly populated states. So population optimization is a must for a good economy, and different aspects are there that how we can optimize population. It is not just, many times we think that if we sensitize people, we educate people, then there will be population, what to say, optimum population will manage. But if we talk about education, that is not sufficient. See, education cannot change belief of people. So some philosophical and psychological intervention is required when we sensitize people for optimum population. Next one, fiscal reforms. See, this is also very important because how do we go for our fiscal policy? This is how we can intervene society through our uh, economic transactions. For example, fiscal reform, how much taxation we should impose, whether direct and indirect, what will be proportion of direct and indirect taxes, and how much public debt we should go for. Because if we are relying too much on public debt, it will create a lot of problem in future. So earlier, what happened? Government used to say that whatever expenditure we have to make, Accordingly, we have to generate revenue. But nowadays, governments are much concerned about cutting down their expenditure. A lot of policy intervention is there that expenditure should be minimum. Like in India also, right now government is having intention to cut down its expenditure. So there is disinvestment. They are withdrawing stake from public sector undertakings. They are selling their equity, and they are trying to have minimum uh, stake in public sector undertakings, government companies. So what I mean to say that if they have limited interfere in those PCUs or limited stake, then they are cutting down their expenditure. Other than that, they're also cutting down expenditure on what to say uh, extravagant expenses. The government is trying to make people capable of making their earnings, making their what to say livelihood, rather than to provide them subsidy or support. So government is trying to spend on those areas where public could be could become capable of making their livelihood rather than providing them livelihood. So initially that could be a burden, but at some point of time, the government will have cut down in their expenditure. So if they are cutting down their expenditure, then what will happen? The requirement of revenue will be limited. And if it is limited, maximum part they can take from taxation, because we know that sources of revenue, taxes, and public debt, then deficit financing, three sources maximum can be there. So taxation is safe source, because taxation once collected by government, it has not to be repaid to public directly. I mean, they repay, but in the form of expenditure, public welfare. But if it is a public debt, they are borrowing from public, like a national savings certificate in India and Kisan Vikas, so many uh, sources of public debts are there. So they have to be repaid along with interest on maturity. So if today government is not in the position to meet out its expenditure, what is the guarantee after 5 years they are going to meet out their uh, expenditure liability along with increased liability of repayment of debt? So this is the concern. That's why cutting down expenditure is one of the priority of government. So this is fiscal reform, is they are restructuring their sources of revenue and heads of expenditure. Planned expenditure means once they make expenditure, they try that these should be revenue generating expenditure rather than creating liability for expenditure. And they are also cutting down their recurring expenses. For example, if they have to commit for recurring expenditure, it is a prolonged liability. Rather than they are preferring non-recurring expenditure once they make expenditure, and after that they don't have liability to make it again and again. So the restructuring sources of revenue and heads of expenditure is about fiscal reforms, and it is very important, especially when economy is transitioning. And nowadays we can see that government is having good policies that it can improve its fiscal strength as compared to other countries. Then next one is feasible manpower planning. This is very important. Very less, though we have a lot of concern about manpower planning, but it is theoretically. Practically, we lack. Most of the developing economies, they are not that good in manpower planning. Manpower planning means that as economy as a whole, we see that how much people are required in which profession. So we have to provide them education and skills accordingly. For example, we need only 100 librarians in India, and we are giving degrees 1,000 people B Lib and M Lib. So this is what 900 will remain unemployed. So in economy as a whole, we have to understand that in which profession, which domain, how much requirement is there for next 2 year, 5 years. So this is manpower planning. It is not that how much maintaining data that how much people are involved in which occupation. So actual manpower planning that we should not have excess or deficit professional or graduates considering a particular occupation or domain. But you see why it's not just population, high population in the country. It is defective manpower planning also equally responsible for unemployment in India. Because in some domains, some profession, there is scarcity of professionals, and in some occupation and profession, there is surplus of educated people. So if we can match, there is no deficit, there is no surplus. This is what we have to do in effective manpower planning. And this has to be done meticulously. For that, we have some research institute, but actually we don't have any government agency to enforce it. So this is the problem. So this is the problem with many developing countries, not only India. Developed countries, they are very good in terms of manpower planning. At least they do convey to public that what will be future requirements. So accordingly, people decide their occupation or profession. Then next one is insured cost of living. See, when we say welfare state, that it is the responsibility of state that no one should be deprived of minimum essential cost of living. This is what we are having in our spirit also in India, that everyone should get at least minimum cost of living to survive. So accordingly, we have some social welfare measures also. We have a lot of consideration for that, and it is required. What happens, we have a lesson from developed countries that people, they were doing very well, and when there is economic instability, economic shock, slowdown, so in that case, people could not survive because of their economic condition, financial condition. So at least we are lucky in India that we don't have such situations. Even global crisis is there, still we survive. Our economy is that robust to decentralize resources so that everyone could survive. So this should remain in the spirit of government, that everyone should get a minimum insured cost of living. For that, government is having in India one scheme also, Madrega, because that in rural areas people could get at least minimum wages. So some guarantee is there. Employment guarantee is there. Employment is what? It is about cost of living. So this is a good thing, and it is still ongoing, this scheme. And the next one is accessible and affordable healthcare. This is also very important. See, healthcare, especially when we are living in that climate where pollution is there, where, what to say, good water, good quality air is not available. So of course there will be health hazards for people, and these will be frequent, and these will start in early age also. Earlier, what happened, up to 40, 50, nobody was sick, everyone was happy. And nowadays, like people residing in metropolitan area, they are witnessing a lot of even chronic disease at early stage, like 30, 40. So this is a serious problem. And most of the people, they need healthcare. So healthcare is there, but we have to do some research that how healthcare can be accessible and affordable. Even government are providing free or free and affordable healthcare through civil hospitals in most of the parts. But it is about quality also. It's just simply providing buildings at the name of hospital without proper medical and paramedical staff, without having sufficient medical instrument facilities. So that sometimes questions about the effective healthcare. So there is a need that people, again, it links with population. If population is very high, it is very difficult to provide healthcare to everyone effectively. But if population is manageable In that case, it's quite easy. I have been in Punjab. I have seen that population is manageable, and civil hospital and private hospital both are having very optimum resources, and everyone can easily get what to say good healthcare over there. So healthcare is something it should be accessible. That in rural area also many people in many areas in India they don't have even civil hospital in the range of 20 kilometer. So if somebody is sick, if the medical emergency is there, and transportation is not that good. Transportation is not that good to reach out easily and timely to the hospital. So somebody will die out of lack of healthcare facility. At the moment they reached hospital, maybe patient may be dead. So accessibility means there should be proximity of healthcare facility, and this should be cost economical, means people could easily afford in considering their cost of living and the medical expenses. So this is what is required. And then education. A lot of things are done in terms of education. We all know that education is very important for any economy because it adds value to individual, society, economy. It accelerate economic activities indirectly. And if education is being provided in terms of what to say manpower planning, we have already discussed that if education is provided for giving knowledge, skills, and adding abilities in required domain, then it is really good. But if education is being provided without any planning, I mean, planning is two-sided. One, government has to plan as whole in economy, and then individual also need to plan education, that yes, in this domain, in this area, in this trade, I want to go for my what to say career. So education should be adding value, adding what to say employability and value also. Value in the sense that one should be a responsible and accountable citizen. Then only it will yield desired result for economy as well as society. And education, primary and secondary, then higher education, there are different levels of education. So a lot of emphasis has been given to what to say higher education. Primary education is meant for enrollment, but still, if you see that the result of primary education schemes, different schemes are there. Whether they are yielding desired result or not, this is another thing. But the motivation of enrollment is not sufficient. There is a need of doing some research that uh, motivation should be to increase their interest of going for higher studies from primary to secondary, secondary to higher education. Transition should be motivated. Primary education, they get some facilities, and after that many dropouts are there, people stop studying. So there is a law also in India that up to 10th matriculation there is a free and compulsory education, but that should be more robust, that they get motivation from transitioning from 10th to further studies, and in such a way that they enter into some job oriented studies. Vocational education is also being promoted after 10th. That's a good thing. Even universities are offering BVOC, MVOC, so vocational programs are being offered. This is a good thing, that they after 10 they should be targeted for those studies which directly add value for their employment and securing livelihood. This is what is required. And the next one is transportation management. This is very important. Now, see, we have discussed the energy. Energy, if petroleum is very costly, then it is going to add cost in transportation. And cost of transportation in economy is really very important in deciding general price level of commodities, because most of the commodities these are being produced in plant manufacturing, and after that these are being transported to retailer through warehouse and what to say wholesaler, ultimately reaching to customers. So transportation play a vital role in deciding their selling price. Cost of production is one thing, and after that, addition of this transportation cost makes things more costly. So this is one thing, and second thing, many parts where there is no good transportation facility. For example, in hills area also transportation issues are there. Single loads are there, and it's very lengthy road. So cost of transportation becomes very high. So transportation and communication also, these these things actually which requires a lot of consideration in terms of research and development, that how we can minimize cost of transportation, whether there is any possibility that fuel can be reduced, cost of fuel can be reduced, or some alternative that minimum transportation should be made for reaching products from factory to customers. So there may be some studies on this also. And after that is innovation and entrepreneurship. See, government is trying to increase entrepreneurship, startups, skill development. This is an agenda, and even not only India, many other countries also trying to make people reliable uh, in terms of self-employment. See what happens when we go for searching a job. We have to get a job, and we get a job, but if we are trying to become self-employed, we do some business, we start a new venture, then what happens? We are not going to search any job. Rather, we are, just a second, sorry. So, yeah, we are not searching a job. Rather, we are in the position to provide job to others. So these entrepreneurship and startups, they are providing multifold benefit to the economy. First of all, unemployment issue. People are not searching for job, rather they are self-employed. Sometimes if they succeed, they can provide job to others. Second thing, they are the entrepreneurs, they start usually from small business startup. So what happens? There's a diversification in terms of use of resources, diversification, regional disparity removed, diversification, rural, urban, everywhere they start their business, enterprise, regional disparity, economic disparity. So, and boosting up, what to say, production, giving reward values to artisan work. So many objects are being fulfilled if people go for starting their own venture, their own enterprise. So that's why it is very important that, and moreover, risk bearing capacity. I mean, taking risk in the business is something which we actually lack. And especially if we talk about developing countries, problem is that people do start their startup, but at a very late age. What happens in India? We do simply study from up to 25 years, and after that, 5, 10 years, we search for job, and if we fail, then only we go for some business. But if we think about enterprise startup at the age of 21, just like other developed countries, people are much concerned to enter into business at very young age. I mean, 21, 22, 20, the latest by 25, they most of them are in their startup, but we hardly enter into startup before 25. This is one of the difference. We are searching job, we are demoralized, we are discouraged, we are demotivated, demoralized, then only we go for business, and by that time energy is not that much that we can provide all sort of coordination which is required in starting a business, because this is a tricky business, and it requires a lot of energy and motivation, and which we have in the early age. So government is also trying to promote early entry in startup and entrepreneurship. Early entry means that we can increase chances of success. So this is one thing. And then optimum industrialization. See, what happened in India and other developing countries, they lack industrialization. Industrialization means we should have large and heavy industries clustered around a whole country. So we have that endeavor. We have special economic zones. The government is trying to promote industrialization. For that, they're providing subsidy in taxation, basic amenities, electricity, water, everything they're providing in the special economic zones, and that is also very cost economical manner. But this is required to be done to this need to be increased. Limited sales are operational, and many of them started, but then after that, they are not being taken care properly. We need to establish some more special economic zones where we can provide basic amenities along with some tax benefits in different parts. Especially every state should have, every division we can have 3 or 4 district, one say should be there. And whatever is feasible to be produced for heavy industry, that should be promoted over there. So that way, what happens, it will cater multi-fold need of the economy. There will be production, and there will be employment, there will be income, there will be demand of products. So it will accelerate economic activities in that region. So this is required. Lot of population is relying on agriculture. So this is not a good thing. Developed countries, they are having 2 to 4% dependency of population on agriculture sector, and we are having more than 65%. So you can understand that on agriculture gives a lot of problem. Small holdings are there. Small holdings cannot give that much yield what we can expect if big holdings are there. So we should try to get a shift from agriculture sector to industrial sector for dependency on cost of living. So that is possible only if we increase industrialization. Some efforts are being made by developing countries, but still it is not that much that we can have. We still need to go for heavy industrialization. The problem in India is that uh, earlier we started to emphasize on agriculture sector, and then we switched to directly from service sector. The transition was actually not sound. From agriculture, we had to shift to industrial, and then industrial to service. But actually, we skipped. Practically, we skipped, or we can say it is limited industrialization in the country. From agriculture to directly we are shifting to service sector, and that is problematic. That's why there is problem of employment, and not only employment, many problems: population, poverty, and unemployment. These things can be linked to this skip of industrialization. So still there is a scope. It can be done if it is planned. Industrialization is not a big issue. Then prudent use of natural resources. Many economies are having natural resources. We are also blessed with so many natural resources in our country. This is one of the good thing. We are having sunshine, we are having minerals, we are having greenery, we are having climate for good, what to say, botanical plants, medicinal plants. So everything is there. So we have to use it wisely. Misuse should be avoided, and if there is no plan, then it can be problematic. So people should be aware, especially those who are in business. They should be aware that in short term gain they should not misuse natural resources. That short term profitability is increased, but in long run, for example, in Meghalaya and Jharkhand, coal mines, they are tapping coals like anything. So in future that could be problematic for their economy, state economy, and we should use them wisely. These resources are precious, so this should be used prudently and in such a way that long-term economic viability should be there. And then next one is last one is international relations. See, any economy need to do continuous research on maintaining good relations with other countries. Especially today's nowadays, we can witness a lot of conflicts between neighbor countries. We have seen last 1 and 2 years. So there should be harmony and peace among countries. And if economic, what to say, transactions, economic cooperation is not there, then at least peace should be ensured. Otherwise, it's very difficult to emphasize on economic development. So every country need, for example, in India also, sometimes we have conflict with neighbor countries like Pakistan, China. Of course, we are having good relation in terms of trade, and trades are being, what to say, rationalized that we are trying to produce nowadays most of the things we are producing in India itself, but still international trade sometimes give cost advantage. So that has to be uh, planned in such a way that it yields good result for all the countries which are in cooperation for this trade. So this is all from my side for this presentation. So thank you so much. Sir, I have done.
Sir, thank you, sir, for your precious time. Uh, and I would like to thank our Professor HOD and Professor Devakil ma'am for providing us opportunity for such lectures. And I would like to thank Dr. Zia madam for organizing such program. And I would like to thank our distinguished faculties of humanities and social sciences for joining us. And I would like to thank our students for joining us for this lecture. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for inviting me for this program. I am very thankful for organizers for giving me opportunity to speak in this August audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.